Watch how you do, buckaroos. How the heck are you? Checking back in with you. It's been a minute. It's been a crazy week. I was able to do a video late last night without beleaguering the point. I was just kind of recapping the week. My mom had died a couple of weeks ago. It took a little bit to coordinate a date to get all of us kids together. There's five of us. There's two of us that live in Springfield where mom was. Sister doesn't live too far from here, but then my oldest sister and oldest brother, well, they it was a little more difficult for them to get here. So let me adjust this real quick. There we go. There we go. Anyways, how the heck are you? It's just been an emotional week, and having a funeral Friday, we had a little memorial yesterday. But so nerve wracking. There were other people around. Anyways, I did decide to pop something new here, so I better get right to it. I just opened this, the first pour out of it. I get myself a rather healthy pour, though. Single estate Boot Hill Distillery. Typically, when I have something new, I always do it neat, but my mind wandered and I set it up for the rock. I was going to save some to pour neat, but I ended up pouring it into my glass. But anyway, I haven't had anything to drink yet tonight. Straight wheat whiskey, Boot Hill Distillery. Born from a barrel forged in the dust. Straight wheat whiskey. Batch 3, bottle 648. It's at 100 proof even. This is out of Dodge City, Kansas. So set that there for you to look at. There. Anyway, lunch you. I'll have to have a shot and eat later. It is warm out here, so I was kind of feeling rocks. But typically, when I have something for the first time, I have it neat first. Oh, damn, that is good. But what's life without a little whiskey? Oh, that is delicious. Yeah, that's nice. Let's see here. In the spring of 1872, George M. Hoover strapped a load of whiskey barrels to the back of his wagon and counted out exactly 5 miles to the edge of Fort Dodge's reservation. There, Hoover erected a tent around 2 posts of sod, on which he laid a 5 foot, laid a foot wide board to serve as the bar. And so Dodge City, Kansas was born from a barrel. Boot Hill Distillery continues that legend of Dodge City with an obsessive dedication to handcrafted spirits, all locally sourced, milled, distilled, and bottled from our very own farm. So I picked up this one, even though it says Dodge City, Kansas. I actually bought it with the soul set. But that was usually I just try to buy a local, but that's one of the reasons I picked it up because I hadn't seen it before. It's not available in my neck of the woods. So again, cilantro. Wheated whiskeys or wheated bourbons are popular these days. This is a wheat whiskey. It's a straight wheat whiskey. It's a little sweeter than a bourbon. A little softer body is something like that. And I don't hate it, but I do love a traditional bourbon. But I am compelled by wheat whiskeys when I see them. I think the last one I bought was a Hewling Station, which was outstanding. This one is very good, man. I'm gonna have to have some neat to really get a hold on those aromas, but boy, these flavors are. Mm. Just a hint of molasses sweetness there. Yeah, a little bit of molasses, man. I wouldn't lie to you. You definitely feel big char, big oak. Spices light, more of a mixed baking spice at the end. A little bit of a lingering sweetness, a little bit of molasses, or a very dark brown sugar, if you will. Uh, It's nice to be able to relax. I do have to work tomorrow, but then I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday. I can relax. And Mondays are always great to work anyway. Those bug clubbers are great folks, and they love me. I'm a wonderful human being. It was difficult this week. It really was. As we got closer to the funeral, closer to the finality of it all. But then we were together with the siblings, and it becomes something else. Well, it's mostly positive, but sometimes old feelings get stirred up. And it seems we all remember our childhood slightly differently. I was going to dig into some current events. Heard any good news lately? I don't think anybody capable of rational thought, anybody capable of critical thinking, is surprised that Trump was found guilty. I mean, the evidence was overwhelming. The charges were clear. The only person that doesn't understand them is Trump nuts himself because he's an idiot. And for whatever reason, you still got this group of brainwashed followers, these cult members that just don't seem to get it. Hey, cheers. How are you, East Coast? Good to hear from you, man. Share with me what you're drinking if you wish. But yeah, I mean, people, are you happy about that? I mean, for me, it's justice, right? I don't know if happy is the right word, but yeah, I'm glad justice prevailed. The right thing was done for a change. That somebody guilty as sin was found guilty as sin. Now, will the punishment fit the crime? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the punishment's going to be. I'm mostly amazed, to be honest with you. Drinking Dead Ringer IPA homebrew. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, man. That sounds awesome. The most messed up part to me is you've still got a Republican Party that embraces somebody that we know is a rapist. This has been proven. Uh, he's a felon. That is what it is and can't be changed. And there's other charges still pending. And somebody with clearly no morals or integrity, no conscience whatsoever. That people will still that their whole Republican Party is still clutching their pearls around an individual that's clearly not too bright. It's very bizarre to me that how he became their savior of some sort. Blackmail is the only thing I can think of, to be honest with you. I think Putin's got some pictures of folks, and Trump's just the messenger. But it's just nuts. It's making if we make it, Savannah if we drown. I will do a video specifically for this whiskey at some point, but that's not what I needed this video to be. I'm just trying to relax, get back to Zen, go to work tomorrow. I gotta admit, the last couple of days at work were rough. Not because work itself was rough, it's just that I wasn't in the proper mental state. I was just worried about mom. Well, not worried about mom, but worried about the funeral and getting together with all the siblings again and other folks that were going to be there. It was a little difficult. I was kind of cranky, but I was lucky that everybody at work kind of understood where I was, and I'm really lucky to be working in the place I'm working with folks that understand. With not only bosses understand, but heck, my friends. I was going to say customers, but they're not customers anymore. They're my friends, man. That come in. They come in and have the beer, but some of them come just to say hi to me, man. Or not just me, but the other folks who work there as well. That's just the kind of place it is, and I'm grateful for being lucky enough to be led in that direction. I'm not sure how it happened still, but I'm extremely grateful for that job. Wheat whiskeys, yeah, they're warming on me. I do love a traditional bourbon because I love the mix of the sweet and the spicy. I do buy wheat whiskeys though when I can find them. I want to make clear I'm not saying it's a wheat bourbon. I say wheat whiskey, but making those comparisons. Wheat whiskeys tend to be a little sweeter. but you got that nice, easy, soft body. And I do believe that that wheat mash really absorbs from that barrel because I'm really feeling big barrel notes here. Mercy, I'm going to share one more with you. Bear with me. I got to jump off camera for about 2 minutes to go get it. I will be right back. All right, thanks for waiting on me. Anyway, we'll put the new prop out there, the new bottle. We'll put this off to the side. Oh, mercy, let me get back in here tight with you. So this is a friend picked this up for me when he was in Tulsa the other day because I really love the other hotel product I had. This is their small batch select. This one's at 104 proof. Our straight bourbon whiskey is handcrafted for mashing with the finest corn, rye, and barley through fermenting, aging, and bottling. Every part of the process is done on site by hand, aged in new charred, aged in new American oak barrels. Hochtown Distilling Company was formed in the heart of the Southeast Oklahoma with the goal of producing the finest spirits, aged not less than 3 years. So it's at least a 3-year-old. I tell you what I've learned though over the years is that for whatever reason, I think that these smaller distilleries, these craft distilleries, if you will, other products don't need as much aging as the commercial products to get to where they need to be to achieve their best results, maybe. And again, this is one I had on the rocks, but I thought, well, not neat, but let me have it on the rocks here while I'm chit chatting with you. The Negro Leagues, I'm a big baseball guy. I'm not quite the historian I once was. I really was into it seriously at one point in my life, but I've kind of let that go. But I am glad to see that the Negro League stats being integrated. See what I did there? Being integrated with the MLB stats. Trying to get myself straightened out here. There we go. With the Major League Baseball stats, and it just cracked me up that you've got all of the. But I'm not a racist, but folks, right? Get their knickers in a twist about it. First of all, it doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect you. Your life isn't going to be changed by the fact that again justice finally prevailed. That the right thing was finally done. That folks had been overlooked and underappreciated for years are finally getting what they deserve. I just don't understand why that would bother somebody. Why would that bother you? If you're not a racist, why does that bother you? There is no other reason it would bother you other than the fact that you're a raging, ignorant ass racist. Anyway, it just cracks me up to see the outrage. You know, why are you getting upset about it? Whether I like it or whether I didn't, it doesn't affect me really. I'm glad they did it. It deserved to be done. I've been lucky enough to have been to the Negro Leagues Museum in Kansas City, and it's beautiful. But But you had the great athletes that had been overlooked and not included. And some will say, well, it's not major league, so it shouldn't be incorporated. But it would have been the equivalent of a major league at the time, so it should be. That's my response to that. The other rebuttal, if you will, is that they didn't play against the best, so they shouldn't be there. Well, then you can use that same argument against MLB players, is they didn't play against the best either. I don't know that anybody can argue that Josh Gibson was probably the best. I think you can make a strong argument for that. I think you can make an argument that Satchel Paige was every bit as good as Ty Cobb. I think there are arguments to be made. Just think what he could have done if he would have been able to get into the major leagues in his prime. I mean, things went nuts when Jackie Robinson, broke the color barrier. And you got those same folks, those descendants of those same folks, getting their panties all in a twist because the right thing is finally being done. Well, here's the thing. Here's what I can't quite figure out, even if you don't think it's a great idea for whatever reason, and I can't think of another one other than you're a racist, but why does it matter? It doesn't affect your life. Everything's going to go on the same. The record books are going to say what they say, and your life is still going to go on exactly the same with exactly no change. So why are you getting your pants up all in your crack? The only reason I can think of is because you're a raging racist. You just don't have the balls to admit it. Anyways, I digress. This whiskey's really nice, man. I do love Hochtown products. I had their cask. The last bottle I had was their cask, and it didn't taste. Every time I gave some to somebody else, I said, "Man, seriously? I cannot believe that's 120." And the same thing with this one, 104. Really? I'm going to change it up slightly though. Before I was going to do with the last one, but we were running late, and I wanted to just finish that one up. But I am going to smoke a little bit here. The cocktail. You lighten up some herb on camera. Just some cherry wood this time. Just some cherry wood. Just some cherry wood, baby. Just some cherry wood. Anyway, let me throw that in there. I'm going to light that up a little bit. This thing is really neat. A couple friends gave this to me, Josh and Rebecca. Those folks are just so awesome. I mean, I can't believe the friends I've made over the past year. I've never made friends easy. I've always kept my circle kind of small. There's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but some folks like big circles. I've always enjoyed a smaller circle, but and sometimes you just outgrow friends, right? You go in different directions and things happen. But the friends I've met over the last just a little over a year, about a year and a half at Banter have just been amazing. I mean, I feel like I've made a lot of lifelong friends in a very short time. I'm just treated so amazingly well. I'm just overwhelmed every time I think about it. So I'm gonna pull this off so you can see the smoke billow out of the glass. So I know when you talk to so-called whiskey experts, most of them aren't crazy about this. Some say you get the smoke, but it doesn't really permeate the liquid. And I don't know that they're wrong, but I think because it's there in the glass, you do. Because there, sorry, I got distracted by a bug. Yeah, you do get a little bit of that. And I think some of the woods are different. I think some of the whiskeys react different than others. But sometimes I'm curious what it might add or detract from. Some things it'll help, some things it won't. Some things it'll detract from the flavors. I do like the added cherry wood. Is it mostly in the glass and the whiskey? Well, probably, but because it's there, because you feel the aromatics, it does affect the taste. Is it a major change? No, that's the complaint that I've heard is that it's not a major change. I'm not sure there's much of a difference. Well, for me, I think that's kind of the idea is that you don't want a major change. You don't want a big difference. It's a little bit. Does it change it or does it add or detract from the flavor? And for the most part, when I've done this, I think it does add to the flavor. I may try to do a smoked old fashioned later, but I didn't have everything prepared. So just I do just some whiskey rocks, man. We'll just keep it easy, man. So to recap once again. Yeah, I'm finally getting my stuff together after dealing with my mom's funeral. I take my brother back to my oldest sister's already gone back to Denver. My other older sister, has gone back to where she lives, although it's only about an hour and a half or 2 hours away from here. Uh, and we take my oldest brother to the airport tomorrow. It was nice to see everybody, but sometimes it brings up some baggage. Other people remember things about you that you might not remember exactly the same way, or you remember things about them that they're conveniently forgetting. But for whatever reason, I mean, strange as it is, my oldest brother being 12 years older than I am, there's always been a connection with us. And sometimes I'm not sure that the other siblings really get that. There is that connection between the two of us. When we get together, if it's been 1 year or 10, it almost feels like no time has passed. We just, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say we have a lot in common, but we can always find common ground. We see a lot of things the same way. Our politics are similar. Our values are similar, if not identical. So that's nice. And not all of my siblings are on that same page as equality, if you will. Uh, Boy, this stuff is good, man. God, I love this stuff. So when we were in Tulsa, we stayed at the Hard Rock Casino, and because I booked the hotel on January 1st and 2nd, well, everybody was staying there the 31st, right? So I got an incredible deal on a very nice room. I visited 3 breweries while I was there. 1, 2, 3. No, I visited 4 breweries. Visited 4. Yeah, got about a 4-day max, and you only had the one day to hit them because they weren't open the one day. But it was nice, and I found products like this. Comeuppance. Yeah, it's nice when people get their comeuppance. When somebody like Trump nuts acts like the miserable human being he is his whole entire life, and for some reason you've got a small percentage of our society that just doesn't get it, or for whatever reason they're able to forgive things in him that they would not forgive in other people. That's the thing that bewilders me is you wouldn't accept this behavior from other folks. Why are you taking it from him? And it just doesn't make any sense. But he is guilty. He is now a felon, and if you're still willing to hitch your wagon to somebody that you know is a racist, you know he's a rapist, now he's a felon, you know he incited an insurrection, you know he tried to overturn an election, you know all this to be fact. These are facts. These are things that can be proven. Even if you don't like them, there is actually proof that these things exist. So you can't deny it. Well, you can, but you're just an idiot. It's that cognitive dissonance of Trump supporters that is just truly bizarre. Anyways, and then the baseball thing. I mean, if you're a true baseball fan, right? If you love the game of baseball, you should be ecstatic that this is happening. You should, because everybody that played in the Negro Leagues had every bit the impact on their community that the major league players did. They were every bit the athlete, better in many, if not most cases. I mean, you got Josh Gibson, you got Satchel Paige, Jackie Robinson. I mean, just think of the career Jackie Robinson could have had if he was in the MLB right in his prime. If he had an extra 5 years, let's just say. Think of what those numbers would have been for him. So in the case of Jackie Robinson, in my opinion, his numbers should be combined. I mean, you should take his Negro League stats and combine them with his MLB stats. That would be the right thing to do. But Satchel Paige would have been every bit as good, if not better, than every star during that period of time. The fact that you've got folks getting their panties in a wad about it just shows what horrible people they are. I mean, how big of a racist you have to be to not want the truth to be told? It just doesn't make any sense. And even if you think it's a bad idea, it doesn't affect you. It's not going to affect your life. So why get your knickers up in a twist? Why get your panties in a bunch? Why act like a total jackass just because it's not going the way you want it to go? So bottom line, Trump is guilty. Everybody knew it. Yeah. Well, everybody capable of critical thinking knew it. Only folks that have their head up Trump's ass didn't. And Negro League stats being integrated to Major League stats is definitely a good thing and long overdue. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist. Well, I've been dying to do this video for a couple of days, but my mind's just been in the wrong mindset since, my mom died and getting ready for the funeral and stuff and, everything else. I've been an emotional wreck. But when I heard that verdict come in, that finally something right has been done. Justice has finally prevailed. One more time with feeling. I'm John the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, fair wisdom ends. All right, good guys, slot shit.